Tech Yeah Podcast.
Tech Yeah Podcast.
Tech Yeah Podcast.
Coming in hot, no bullshit. Bill, how's your fucking week?
Such language. My week has been great. Over the weekend, I had another solo flight. CFI was in the plane to start, and then he jumped out after a couple of laps and was just flying an airplane around for an hour by myself. It was pretty freaking sweet.
So what do you do when you fly around by yourself? Does it get kind of boring?
It is the absolute opposite of boring. I always thought it was going to be boring. It's called pattern work, and it's just takeoff and landings over and over and over. If you looked at a trace of my flight, it's just a big oval, essentially. And I always thought, like, man, because pilots will do that. Like, guys that have their license will just go, hey, I'm going to, go fly the pattern today. And it's a practice thing. And I was like, man, it would be tough for me to be in the space where I want to just go do that and practice. But having done it now, dude, it's super fun.
Hearing you talk about it is boring.
I can tell. But I got a new toy. I got I saved up and bought a little aviation headset.
Ooh.
It's super nice, and the microphone was really hot.
Yeah.
It's really hot. It was super comfortable. I've been borrowing the headsets that the flight school has, and they're just trash.
Yeah.
The one that I did my very first solo in didn't, like, the left ear wasn't even working. So it would, like, crackle in every once in a while. It was just a mess. So I was like, this is not good or safe or fun or whatever. So I got a fairly nice. I mean, it's still kind of budgety, but it's, entry level nice. And when I pushed the talk button to talk to the tower for the first time, just like blew my ears out.
Yeah.
So I didn't test it at all, so I didn't have any of the settings right on. I just like plugged it in and hey, this is. And I was like, oh god,
especially with your loud ass talking.
Oh,
man.
So freaking loud, and you have to like put the microphone like to your mouth because it's so loud in there. That it would pick up ambient, it would sound like you're 15 feet away if it's just a couple of inches from your mouth. So that was fun.
And you're always so loud.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
That's all right. It's
I'm like in the next room. For those of you that, for those of you, everybody, no one can see what we're doing right now.
Yeah, we're not on video.
This is audio.
Yeah.
I'm in the next room just talk,
Here, I'm going to take a picture so people can see what's happening right.
Tony
as we speak.
Has the mic, and I'm in the next room, and that's how much my voice carries.
Yeah, he's actually outside right now.
Yeah. Podcast selfie.
Wow, this is live. That
was
live pod that just happened right now.
Go to our Twitter and check that out.
Yeah, I'll put it on our Twitter.
At Tech Yeah Podcast.
Tech Yeah Podcast. I guess we should do that at the top.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. If you want to find us on Twitter, YouTube, at Tech Yeah Podcast, and we want you to tell your friends, right? I think that's the biggest thing. If you like the show, if you enjoyed listening to it, if you've got some like-minded friends, please just share it. I think that's all we ask is if you think it's cool.
This is a free gift you can give somebody.
Yeah.
This podcast is free because we're stupid.
Yeah, it's never going to it's free for you. It's not free for me. It's never going to cost you anything. So enjoy, and if you like it, just try and tell a friend. I think that's all we ask in compensation for making it every week is if you like it, tell somebody. And yeah, I don't care if you rate it. You know what I mean? Like they say that helps. I don't really. It's not going to help when we're pretty small, so I don't think that's really going to get us to the top of the charts.
Yeah, if all 6 of you give us 5 stars, this thing's going to take off.
Yeah. Well, actually, we probably have a pretty decent listenership, but I think we should probably keep
It's more than 6, right?
It's more than 6. We should probably keep that offline.
Does that include us?
Mm-mm.
So 8?
8, yeah.
How was your week, Tone?
My week was pretty good. I'm trying to think if anything crazy happened, but no, I just kind of hung out, did some stuff in town, visited friends. Some of my friends just moved to Orange County, so I spent some time down in the OC this weekend.
What city in Orange County?
They're living in Tustin right now.
Beautiful Tustin.
Old
Town Tustin. I love it.
And we went at Japanese food in Costa Mesa. It was very
cool.
It's got not a lot of nice little Japanese restaurants up there.
Little hot tip: there is a really good Italian market in Tustin.
What's it called?
It is called Claro's.
Ooh. Oh, I've heard of Claro's. There's actually a Claro's in my neighborhood.
Is there?
Yeah.
Nice.
On Valley in San Gabriel Valley.
I would hope that that it's the same one. It's a market, just like an Italian market.
Yeah, it's a time we go there and get some gabagool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta stay off the gabagool though. It's
You don't want to go too heavy on the gabagool.
it's good though.
It is good.
It's real tasty.
It is really tasty.
So been doing did some of that this weekend. Went to Frankensons over the weekend to see if they had any good robots. They didn't. And then just
Frankincense is the swap meet, the local
Frankensons. Yeah, it's the local like indoor swap meet kind of thing. It's like the floor of a Comic-Con or something, right? Like all the shops, like it's
just a lot of vendors,
action
random
figure
vendors.
shops
Yeah.
and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and
Cool.
T-shirts and stickers and all that stuff.
I like a good sticker vendor.
I like a good sticker vendor too. Actually,
You know?
that's usually who gets me. Usually, I'll go there, see nothing I like, but spend $20 on stickers.
Yeah, they break the seal.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're like, I broke this 20. Now I got
I got
$12 left. I should go. That shirt looks pretty nice.
Maybe grab a anime grab bag and just see what's in here.
See what happens.
Who knows, right? I like
see
to
where
live,
this goes.
I like to live on the edge, right? And then this week I've been streaming a ton of Rainbow Six, actually. Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, cool.
I've been all about it. I've been deep into the R6 Siege life this week. And it's a good life, man. I've been enjoying it. But yeah, so that's kind of my week. That's how my week's been. I mean, I'm sure you, just like me, are pretty busy with work life. So, oh, shoot.
Yeah, it's been ramped up quite a bit.
So this is from Alec. I found out that Alec is Hornet from the Discord.
We love you, Hornet.
We love Hornet, and I didn't realize that was his name, but it is.
And if you guys want to email us, it's techyeahpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and we'll read it. We love.
We
to
will
hear from
read
you
it.
guys.
We have so far read every email
Yeah,
that we have been sent. Ever.
we love to hear from you guys. We love to get questions. We love to answer your questions and see how you feel about it and hear your hate mail. So if you got
love hate mail.
Yeah, if you got anything you want to say, just let us know.
Love hate mail.
So here is the question.
That's all one question. I mean, it's like 5 paragraphs.
Yeah, it is. So as the gaming industry progresses, he has noticed that more and more games are focused on multiplayer, some even completely ditching single-player campaigns. He understands the need to have multiplayer aspects of video games, and a lot of people love playing with their friends. But games mostly are becoming games as a service now, which require always online connections, right? This made me start to wonder, how well will today's games play, and how will the used games market work in the future, right? And he gives examples. Let's look at vintage games of today. You've got CDs and carts that you can buy, sell, and trade because of their physical nature. You can plug them into old consoles, yada, yada, yada. Now that games in general are all sold digitally, require always online connections, day one patches. Are people going to be able to play these games in the future? How do you feel about kind of losing that used market? And I think that's basically it.
I love that question.
I do too. I think it's great. I think it's a great thing to think about. Here's his TLDR, so maybe this will be the thing. Old games generally still work the same way they did when they were released, and most, if not all, of their gameplay still works today. Many of today's games require the user to be online to play, and when the publisher or developer stops supporting it, many games will basically be unplayable. Right? So
there's a couple of different questions in there. I mean, I think that's a question in itself. But I think also the used game market and the no story mode, that's kind of another 2 topics.
yeah, but I think in general the common thread is that this games as a service has kind of created this situation where video games that we've known them are going to be gone soon, right? Like this idea of like, oh, pull out your old games, right? It's already that way, right? Like if you wanted to play Destiny 1, right? The original Destiny. I mean, it's still online, it's still supported per se, but it's very static in what you can do. There's not going to be a lot of multiplayer. That's probably a bad example. There's probably still a ton of weirdos playing that game. But
I understand your point on that.
But it's a finite amount of time where that's going to exist. We've seen MMOs die, right? Where it's like the last day of EverQuest or the last day of Ultima, right? Like as these games kind of lose their server support, they literally die. They cease to exist, right? And you can't go back. And you know, is there gonna be like a vintage game market going forward? Like, is there going to be, you know, like your old people dusting off their NES to show their kids? You know what I mean? Is that still gonna exist? So I guess, what are your thoughts on that?
I have some thoughts. I think that it's kind of parroting the television industry a lot. The way that we take in media now has, just in the last few years with streaming services, has changed a ton. And even outside of that, just the type of content that's being created before then had a big shift as well. You know, I would kind of make a parallel with the, like, hey, let's pull out the old, you know, copy of whatever and play it, to, you know, back when everybody used to watch a single show. You know, there was, you know, like the last episode of Seinfeld, or, you know, Sopranos, or Everybody Loves Raymond. There were all these TV shows that were out in the 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, like Dallas. What's the
So you know one show from the 70s, 80s, or 90s. Huh?
I'm trying to.
Friends.
Friends is a good example.
Home Improvement.
Full
House.
What's the island? The one with the little guy with the white suit, the little midget guy on the island. Not Love Boat.
Love Boat.
What's the name of that freaking show?
It's what you call it?
Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island. Yeah.
All these shows that
Boss, the plane, the plane, boss.
All these shows that had, you know, like everyone watched it. Everyone, you know, the next day at work or at school said, hey, did you see that episode? And you could talk about it, and, you know, the shared connection with these TV shows. Then it started getting more and more expensive, and writers started to cost more and more. Reality TV started to catch on. So now we have disposable television, essentially. No one's going back to a DVD box set and watching season 3 of, you know, Pawn Stars. It's just, you watch that episode and it's just disintegrates. You don't need to go back and watch those.
Yeah, I think, you know, in a lot of ways, which is strange, but in line with what you're saying, is like, you know, now the zeitgeist is really dictated to us, right? Like, for games, I think games are kind of moving this way, and you see it with like remakes and remasters of games so much. But like, even with television, right? Like, Netflix will decide, like, okay, Home Improvement's all going to be on Netflix this week, right? You know, or this month, right? And everyone will talk about, like, oh, did you watch Home Improvement? You know, like, or when Friends hit Netflix, everyone was watching Friends again, right? Or The Office on Hulu.
But that was a lot of nostalgia, though.
No, it is. But I'm saying is, the only way these old things get a second life is when these content distributors decide that they're gonna kind of give us access back to them.
Yeah,
right?
but they're not the ones dictating that. It's the sales of that. I think that decision is based on revenue, and if there is a market to bring back an old game, they will produce it. If everyone just is like banging down the walls at wherever and say, "Hey, we want World of War," or, you know, Modern Warfare 2. We want to play Modern Warfare 2 again. Give us back Modern Warfare 2. Activision would say, here you go. Here's a streaming online version of it with new graphics.
To a point, like, where it's possible, right? Because, like, they did bring back Modern Warfare, and they've never sold it standalone. It was only offered to people who, like, pre-ordered Advanced Warfare. Still to this day, you can't buy it. You had to, like, buy an Advanced Warfare Collector's Edition.
I remember that, yeah.
And there's people playing it, right? That got it in there, and a lot of people that can't. You know, I think there's very unique circumstances around entertainment properties, right? Tony Hawk Pro Skater, right? Everyone wants the old Tony Hawk games back, but you can't because of the music. They can't get licensing out for all the songs in those games. Or Gran Turismo, the PlayStation, the mini PlayStation just came out, right? People like, why isn't Gran Turismo on here? Because you can't license those cars again, right? Like, it's just the work to go in and be like, hey, I need to license all these 80s and 90s cars. Toyota won't even be involved in car games anymore. They refuse, right? So there's so much like built-in minutia around like licensing these old products and bringing them back, that to get back to kind of Alex's point, right? It does kind of even further limit our access to this like this kind of vintage or this this, I don't want to call it like old game market, but to play classics again.
Yeah, nostalgia.
You know?
But I think if there was a market that supported them going out and relicensing everything that needed to be relicensed, they would do it.
In a lot of situations, they can't though. I mean, that's what I mean.
You could throw money at it. If there was a market. Toyota's not saying we will not accept any amount of money to put our cars in essentially an advertisement. There is a number, and if sales dictated it, they would offer Toyota that.
I think the number's too high.
But it's too cheap. It's too cheap to basically make what is essentially the reality TV of video games, which is only multiplayer, and just have that until people get sick of it, and then you come out with new maps and sell them the next season of the reality TV show. I do
think that's a good comparison. The reality TV of video games is really this like
there's no writing involved.
Yeah.
Look at how long it took Rockstar to make Red Dead. There's a bunch of writing. There's a bunch of artistic talent that they put behind that. I mean, it is a piece of art, like we've said a million times. Mm-hmm. That game has the sales to drive that, and there's still a place for that type of art in the marketplace. That's why Game of Thrones exists. That's why Breaking Bad exists, and all those deep really long narrative shows exist, because there is a market for that. But it is more cost effective for them to push out another effing season of car wash stars or whatever,
Call of Duty,
and Call of Duty, because it doesn't involve anything except this is putting it this is probably not fair, but reskinning a couple of maps and tweaking some game modes.
It's very unfair.
There's no voiceover talent needed. There's no writing needed. There's no story that has to get fleshed out. There's no, the Q&A. The QA is a lot more simplified, because you don't have a linear thing that you have to go from beginning to end every time to
Mm-hmm.
QA. You just kind of play, throw a beta out there and, kind of pretend like that's a marketing budget thing, and you let your user base do the QA for you. So it's just like at every turn, that's the cheapest way. People are still buying it. So what's the motivation for them to, get their lawyers involved and get some licensing for tracks of, from a game that people played 20 years ago?
Yeah.
We know, because we've gone back and played a lot of those retro games, and it's fun for 15, 20 minutes. And you're like, oh yeah, this sucks. I want to play the newest thing, because there's a reason we've advanced because they're not as good. Same goes with some of those old TV shows, and that's
old TV shows are so bad.
They're so bad, but there's some of them that do hold up, and those are the ones that people go back and go crazy for on Netflix when they get re-released or whatever.
They're still kind of bad shows.
They're still bad, but there's a place for them, and there's a market for them, and they are released as far as that market will take them.
Like Friends would never hold up today.
Yeah, but Friends NBC isn't going to go, okay, we're going to cancel all of our new content and just rerun Friends, because people have already been there, already done that, and
They might want to. It's probably a good idea.
They probably should. Some of these networks probably should. Network television sucks.
Yeah, it does. It's so bad. It's amazing how bad it is.
Yeah.
All right, like in kind of last words on this, let's kind of move on. But to get back to the email, I think what you said is correct. I think you're just going to kind of see this kind of reality TV style game, this game to be consumed and kind of moved on from within the year, whenever the next iteration of it comes out. Yeah. Those are going to be disposable. They're going to come and go, and you're going to move on, and you're never going to be seen again, right? But I do think that we will continue to press discs for these kind of grand experiences, right? Yep. Red Dead Redemption 2 will have a disc form, and it will be available somewhere in 10 years.
Right.
And I think that's going to continue for quite a while.
Yeah,
right?
Same with Grand Theft Auto 6. Mm-hmm. Same with, the next Elder Scrolls game. Same with the next Zelda game.
Yeah, and I think something that's exciting about that, too, is as computers and consoles become more similar, we'll start to see those kind of run on, like, maybe your PC will just support old systems at some
Yeah,
point,
I mean,
right?
Steam is the Netflix, if you will, of video games. You'll at some point you'll find, if the lawyers allow it, you'll find one of those classic games on your PC, and you can download it and plug in your retro little USB controller and play that game.
Or if Valve doesn't disappear, you'll maintain these licenses you've had for such a long time.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
if they do disappear, I'm sure what will happen is Valve will say, download everything you want.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we'll unlock the DRM, do what you got to do.
And to answer part of his question about the used market is, we already know from the existence of Steam that those games are way cheaper than their physical counterpart. So if you can get a $9 GTA Vice City, how is that not better than
somebody scratched disc for $15,
$35 used copy at GameStop?
Yeah,
it's better, I would say. So you don't have the nostalgic, blow off the disc and put the cartridge in and take your system over to your friend's house thing. But we also don't have CRT TVs and broadcasting times anymore, and we've moved past that and survived.
All right. Well, thank you for your question, Alec. I think we can
thanks,
move
Alec.
on. I definitely appreciate the discussion point.
It's really good.
Yeah, it was a good
we
question.
could go on for a long time on that.
That's why I'm kind of kiboshing it, because I'm like, oh, if we get into like too many more ideas on this, like, it's gonna be the show.
Let's save it for next time. Let's if we have any other thoughts on that, or if Alec, if you want to pose a different angle to that question, let us know and we'll continue, because I would love to talk more.
Yeah,
about
we're
it.
definitely open to continue.
I think
the
it's
dialogue,
fantastic
for sure.
and interesting.
All right, what's your story, Bill?
Okay, so I've got a story. It's on this company called Diamond, and they have a new hybrid that they've just developed in partnership with Siemens AG. It's pretty
Siemens, like the tech company, right?
Yeah, Siemens AG, and it's really an interesting development, because the hybrid power hasn't been really explored in the aviation world.
Wait, are we talking about airplanes again?
Yeah, it's Diamond Aircraft. It's
we talked about this.
Austrian.
Like, before we came in here, we talked about no more airplane stories.
Yeah, but this is a hybrid.
But
That's
every
like
week we talk about airplanes, and I was like, no more airplanes.
It's not every week. I mean, this
We
is like
always
is
talk-
like a techy kind of question, or topic.
It's not airplanes, bro. Like, people don't want to sit here and hear us talk about airplanes.
All right, fine. What do you want to talk about? You got some story on Diablo or some crap?
We talked about the stories before we came in here, and yes, I have a story on Diablo.
All right. Well, I thought that maybe I could sneak that one in, and we got too far down the story before you realized that it was airplane related.
I'm not an airplane nerd. I'm not going to talk. You said, "Oh, I got this hybrid technology thing and something else," and I was like, "Okay." And
okay, Diamond Aircraft has a hybrid airplane, and it's really awesome. Okay, go, Tony.
I really do not appreciate this at all.
Thought I could ninja some aviation stories.
I need to get my composure back. I can't believe you.
You wanted to be a pilot when you were a kid secretly, and you're just really bummed.
I did want to be a pilot, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, actually, was going to join the Army. I took the ASVAB and did really well. But the path to flying in the military is long and arduous. And so I said,
Well, first of all, the Army doesn't have any airplanes, so that would have made it even longer and more
helicopters.
arduous.
I was going to fly a helicopter.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah.
Rotor wing guy. Yeah, you seem like a rotor guy.
I backed out. But
Yeah.
see, you're dragging me back down this hole, and I don't want to go there.
I knew it. All right, what do you got?
Okay, so I don't know if you caught any of BlizzCon last weekend.
I caught very little of it. I'm not a big Blizzard guy.
Okay, well, so there's a lot of announcements at BlizzCon, right? People were very excited. Overwatch got a new character, and I might have to cut that out.
Tech, yeah.
Overwatch got a new character and a new short. They do these really great animated shorts. World of Warcraft announced their launch of Classic Mode, which is like original World of Warcraft, like before all the expansions.
Hey, Hornet.
Yeah. Warcraft also announced Warcraft 3 Reforged, which I'm really excited about, which is they're relaunching Warcraft 3 with the updated graphics. And it'll support all the old like modded tools, and it's really exciting. And then Diablo was the final announcement, right? Diablo came up. So every game kind of does a little spiel at the opening ceremony, right? And so Diablo was like the final one, right? And they've been hyping people for like months about their announcement, right? They're like, oh, it's coming, like hide your wife, hide your kids, Diablo's coming, right? So people were hyped for Diablo, right? It's been a long time. There's Diablo 4 has been rumored for ages.
So this is kind of like one of those Half-Life rumored forever kind of deals.
Yeah, definitely. Diablo's been out since like the original Diablo released in the 90s, right? Like Diablo 2 was probably like 2000-ish, and then Diablo 3 came out. These years, everyone's going to be like, these are not the right
Wrong,
years.
you're wrong.
Diablo 3 came out.
TechYeahPodcast@gmail.com. Send all your corrections.
Diablo 3 probably came out like 2010 or something, right? So it's been a while. Like, so people were hyped, right? They're ready. They're ready for Diablo 4. It's kind of been hinted it's going to be Diablo 4. They go through the whole conference.
Did they have like promotional material where there's like ghosted? There's like 4 objects, and people are going like, "Okay, there's 4 of those things." So that means it's definitely 4. 4 has been confirmed.
Everyone was so hyped, right? So they go through. They get to the last part, and it's like the big announcement. Here we go.
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Diablo Mobile.
Oh, psych!
Psych! It was a
Diablo Mobile.
Yeah, it was a mobile game. Yeah, they announced a mobile game. People immediately lost their minds.
Oh,
the boos were raining in.
No, at the
event,
at the announcement.
Yeah. The developer on stage is like, "What's wrong? Don't you guys have phones?" Literally said that.
Get out of here. He actually had, it was so bad he had to react to it.
Yeah, it was so bad. He's like, "Don't you guys have phones?" And then like in the Q&A, a kid came up and said, "Hey, I just want to ask you guys, is this an April Fool's joke?"
Oh.
Which is a shitty thing to say.
This is a real shitty thing to say.
Don't get me wrong, it's a shitty thing to say.
But,
you're a big fan.
Gets to do that. Oh my God, what a miss.
Yeah, it's such a miss. So, and of course what this turned into was everybody's mad. Gamers are sending asshole tweets.
Yeah, I
right?
bet.
They're raging everywhere they can.
Fire up 4chan.
Yeah, fired up YouTubes, fired up subreddits, fire up Twitter. And of course then you get like the developer and like the industry like lashing out at game. Like, "Oh, you guys are toxic, like entitled little jerks."
Love it. Yeah.
Right?
Good reaction.
Yeah, good reaction. And
wait, it's not out yet though, right?
It's not out yet.
Okay.
But so I think the thing that to me really stings about it is like Blizzard's not even like making the mobile game. Like it's a third party Chinese developed. It's a company that makes these like gacha games, like.
Yeah. I mean, is it like a freemium model kind of deal?
It's like one of those freemium games. They make these kinds of games all the time. This uses like the same control scheme as their previous games. You know what I mean? Like and this is their big announcement, and people like. I kind of agree at some level that like you can't. It's a video game. Like chill out, right? Like don't scream at people. Like like I get being upset. But at some level, it's like it's a video game. Relax.
Yeah, that's where everything's going now.
It's a toy. Okay, like chill out. But at the same time, like the thing about BlizzCon, and I think that the way that Blizzard really missed in my mind is like. These are your like most devoted fans. These are people you charged hundreds of dollars, months and months in advance to come here. They're buying plane tickets. Yeah. They're paying for hotel rooms. They're 20-year-olds that literally are spending like 4 months of their salary
to be out big here. Trip of the year.
Yeah, to be out here and see their events and see it with their friends that play the same games, and to just like shit on them is like. I get why they made a Diablo mobile game, right?
Yeah, because it's going to make a crap ton of money.
It's going to make a shitload of money. China's going to explode on it. Like
everyone's going to love it. The people that are pissed off are going to love it too.
I don't know if they're going to love it.
They're going to get it. They're going to play it.
Yeah, in the U.S., though, the mobile market hasn't really caught on. But definitely globally, it will explode, right? They'll make a shitload of money because globally, mobile games just do so well. But to kind of like do that to these people, it really leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And to somehow not have, like, I'm empathetic towards the developers, right? But they're getting plenty of empathy from the media, right? It's like, who have empathy for these, like, I don't want to call them kids because they're probably in their 20s, they're young adults, but have empathy for these people that literally have spent half of their year saving to come to this event to hear something that we know they don't want to hear, right? It's so obvious, and so that's kind of the crux of my story, kind of entitlement versus manner.
Well, yeah, I get it. I see it from both sides. We all know how boisterous kind of the world that we play in can be. I mean, it's the computer game, video game. I mean, there's interfighting.
Hardware people,
yeah. There's interfighting. There's you've got interest groups, and you got mothers against GTA, and you've got it's just like, for whatever reason, and there's probably a reason or a handful of reasons for it, but for whatever reason, it can get hostile. You don't want to poke a stick at that beehive if you're a developer that depends on them, and not necessarily them for the bulk of your revenue, because the people at BlizzCon are probably not the bulk of your revenue. It's the whales, it's the global market that's not going to your convention. It's a big convention. I've got a very close friend that essentially runs that from the convention side, so I know how big it is, and it's just like a massive event. But those aren't the bulk of the revenue, I'm assuming. They're the loudest, most passionate fans you got.
Yeah, it's definitely the bulk of their social presence.
Yeah, so what you're hurting is the narrative, and you're shifting the narrative from, here's our new mobile game, what do you think, to we just pissed off a bunch of our loudest fans. It's going to be the presidents of fan clubs. It's going to be the moderators of chat rooms and Discord servers. It's going to be, the most high-profile streamers that are going to go on their streams with 40,000 people and bits and subs going all over the place saying, I got raped by Blizzard this weekend. I can't believe this news. This sucks. I was hoping for a 4 and we got mobile. So that's just, it was just a calculation gone wrong, because I think, like we said, it's probably going to make a crap load of money, and they could have put it at the beginning of their presentation and said, we got Diablo mobile coming out, and people would have been like, that's cool. What else you got? And they would have been excited about the other stuff.
Well, let me give you some examples, right? So, did you watch any of E3?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bethesda at E3 announced Elder Scrolls. I don't even know what
I think it's Elder Scrolls Online is what they call it.
No, there's a mobile one now.
Not
Elder Scrolls and like Blades or something. It's not even out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking
It's
about.
not even
Yes,
out yet.
Yeah.
But what they did, which was smart, is they went through the whole press conference. They announced Elder Scroll Blades, and then they just showed like a still image of Elder Scrolls 6 or whatever it's called, right? Like, no of release dates, no.
Yeah.
It just said, hey, we showed you that mobile game. We're working on this, and it looks cool, right? Yeah. And then they showed Sky. I can't remember what their space one's called, but another launch that they're working on, another one of their future projects, right? To tell people, like, yes, we did this mobile game, but here's 2 other things that we know you're excited about that are in our wheelhouse, that are important to us, that deserve to be on stage, that we want to show you guys, right? And I think where Blizzard really failed is to be like, oh, the other stuff's not ready yet, so this is enough, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
you guys love everything that we do.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what we do.
Yeah.
You'll take it. You know what I mean? Whereas if they showed a still image that said Diablo 4 and like it zoomed out for 30 seconds and played some music, right?
Yeah.
And they said, hey, we're really excited to be working on Diablo 4, and people would have been like, oh, they'd be like, expect to hear more soon, right? Like people would have been at least they could have kind of clinged to that, right? Like they might have been disappointed, but they wouldn't have had so much ire, And I think I think we see that because then if you look at EA's press conference for E3, they released Command and Conquer Generals, and they'd kind of teased that Command and Conquer was going to get a sequel and release Generals, which was a mobile game, and they did not do what Bethesda did, and they also faced they got lashed for it, right? Like it was not a positive, right? So, I think we saw clear examples of kind of ways to and ways not to deal with this. And for some odd reason, Blizzard chose the worst way to proceed, right? And it's not that
it seems just like an arrogant move.
It feels bad, right?
It feels really arrogant. Rockstar, I love Rockstar. And I love them because they don't take their success for granted. They work for it every single time, which is why every one of their games is such a big deal because they work on it.
Yeah.
And it seems like not only did Blizzard not actually work on this game, but they're just like mailing it in and resting on their laurels that, hey, you guys love Diablo. You're going to love it on your phone. And like that's your big announcement.
Yeah, and I think they are working on Diablo 4. I think that there's work going on.
Yeah.
They've said that they are working on it after the fact, but it's
hindsight's 2020 too, so like you see the reaction and you go, okay, how would you imagine that reaction have been mitigated or changed the story, the narrative?
If someone showed me a PowerPoint and the last slide was Diablo 3 mobile, I would have been like, you need to update, you need to change it. Like, this is not going to fly, right? It would have immediately thrown up like, we can't end on that. No way. It's impossible. We're not ending on this. Like, throw that out. If this is what you're going to bring, just don't go on stage.
Yeah, all you got to do is put 4 shadows.
Yeah. If the last slide was Diablo, if there were 2 slides, and the second to last one was Diablo Mobile, and the last one was Diablo 4 tease.
And you probably didn't have to say anything. You
No.
can just go 4 and
Or
have it
make-
on fire and have
or
like
make-
horns in the back.
Or make like a CG video of an adventurer like in the dark, and he like holds up a torch and there's like a monster. Like, who cares, right? Like, it doesn't have to make sense to the game, right? It doesn't have to be like an actual thing.
That's why I think, it's similar to what Bethesda did with the Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah.
They just did like that one flying camera shot,
Yeah.
and like that's all they did. I think GTA or Rockstar did it for GTA 4, I think, where there was just the Roman numerals.
Mm-hmm.
That was all they showed. It was just like, here's a Roman numeral, and it had like was it 4 or 5? Where it was like the money design, 5, the V.
Yeah.
So it was the V with the kind of the money in the middle of it. The design.
The money was like the color, right?
Yeah, it was like that green, whatever the design
pattern,
that's
yeah.
on currency or whatever. And like that's all they showed, and everyone just loses their freaking mind. So if you disappoint the crap out of them with your stupid outsourced mobile game, like, oh, son of a bitch, this is sort of 4. Like, it immediately changed.
Like, have you ever played Diablo?
A little bit, yeah.
Right. So think about, like, you don't even gotta have a game, right? You just have a CG trailer open, right? It's dark, right? And there's a scared adventurer in his armor with his sword out and his shield, right? And he's got a little torch and you can barely see, and like the terrors are like, you don't even see him, you just hear them all around him, right? And you don't know what you're looking at yet. And then like he pulls out a scroll of teleportation to take him back home, right? And he's like trying to get it off before these things get to him, right? And like at the last second, like boom, the blue circle opens up. And he dives through and gets to town, right? And then all these things come crashing in, but they can't get him through the portal, right? That has nothing to do with Diablo 4. Like, I didn't have to design the game. People would have lost their minds if they saw that.
But
right? Like, people would have been so excited, right? Like,
I am going to assume that the reason if they're working on it, let's say that they are, they're not at a point where they're far enough along to disclose anything, even that they're working on it.
I didn't even disclose anything.
I know, but
I'm just saying, don't
you
disclose anything.
But you gave a narrative that I think you could skip all that and just put a number 4.
Oh, for
they
sure.
know what that means, right?
I'm saying you could have beyond that. You could use this like non-narrative material. You could just have a cool visual that has a loose tie into a thing that came from the Diablo universe, right? Like once people see one thing that came from the Diablo universe, they'd be like, oh my God, you know, like it's all it takes. That's all the hook they need.
I'd give it 2 seconds. That's all I would do. I would, at the end of that thing, I was like, and here's our mobile game, and it's going to be free, and you're going to have so much fun on your A11 Bionic iPhone that you're going to be playing on it. It's going to be so great. Diablo 4, bye.
No, I just
and then that's it.
That old asshole Blizzard voice. It's like, at a time, you know, Eddard Kane or whatever. Back in the time of Diablo, blah, blah, blah. You know, oh, it'd be so good. It'd be so good. I could have killed that press conference. I really, they should have hired me because I would have blown it up.
So it happens when you get too big and people are just, I mean, this is their event. They have what other developer has an event even remotely like this? Does anybody?
Not anymore.
No, nobody does.
Kind of their E3 shows, like EA does it's mostly publishers, right?
Yeah. But not a developer to this level where it's just about them. It's a convention center of just their shit.
I mean, I think, and this is what I heard on a different podcast I was listening to, but it's like maybe they should just not do a keynote every year, right? Like it's fine to have the event, let people get together with their friends. But having this kind of live streamed on the internet keynote where you announce all your stuff.
For sure. If you don't have anything,
maybe save that for times where you have something exciting to tell, right? Because this mobile announcement could have come at any time, and I think people would have been fine with it. It's the fact that people feel like they spent $2,000 to see it, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure. And that was my reaction too. It's like it's gonna be fine, but it's the fact that it's seemingly to the community that it was a bait and switch essentially.
And I don't know how familiar you are with Activision.
Yeah.
And like Bobby Kotick, right? They're not necessarily the most beloved brand as far as the way they treat games and audiences and monetization, right? Like they definitely are the greedy. I mean, EA has kind of taken the throne in the recent times, but Activision has always been known. Activision started this shit. Like it's funny that EA takes so much heat, right? Because Activision was doing what EA did in Battlefront in Call of Duty games forever. Like and not in the newest Call of Duty, but in all the Black Ops games before, there are weapons you can only get by opening paid crates, right? Like the crossbow and all these like weird guns and stuff.
Yeah, or like ordering the special edition or whatever. Pre-order.
I used to play Black Ops 3 a lot, and I made YouTube videos. And one time I bought $100 in crates, and I got nothing.
Oh, God.
I got no guns, right? Because I'd never gotten a gun before.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to open all these crates because I'm going to get a gun because I've never gotten a gun before, right? $100.
Oh.
Nothing. I got nothing. I don't think I ever played Black Ops again after that. Like, they really like invented this like I don't want to call it pay to win, but pay to have the things that poor people can't have kind of mentality in games. And they did it to Destiny, and they've always done it, and they've always been kind of that greedy company. So it's like, it feels like the Activision is like taking over the Blizzard, right? Like it's pushing through where I feel like Blizzard wouldn't have done as much of this. Blizzard always kind of felt like a very gamer-centric, PC-centric company that was kind of in it for the feels, right? And like made a lot of money because they kind of did these things.
Yeah, and hence the convention too.
Yeah,
I mean,
hence the convention. And I feel like this was kind of the moment where it's like, this feels like act.
And I think a lot of the reaction comes from people feeling a lot more connected to it. Did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah.
We were really into that show for a little bit. I think we started watching it after it was off the air fully. And I thought the first few seasons was hilarious. Like I loved it. I loved the dynamic. I loved Barney. I loved the whole setup of it, like not seeing the mother and, just like it was very engaging. You'd wanted to, it's a sitcom that had a ongoing storyline that you kind of wanted to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Then they, showed the actress or whoever that ended up being the mother, and it just, you're kind of like, this is, and then it just like
lost its magic.
Yeah, just like the last season or two just went, and I was like, well, that sucks. All right, you move on to the next thing. Like there was no personal connection to it. Like we were engaged and going through and thought it was funny and liked the characters, the jokes were good, the writing was fun, and then it just kind of started to suck and whatever. But I didn't feel like personally attacked by it.
Have you ever had that friend that like dates girls and treats them better than he feels about them? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like he's like, oh, I'm not really into her, but you know, like, gotta date somebody, or don't, you know,
Yeah.
like, and he's just like,
And
oh,
we're going to Hawaii for a week.
yeah,
You're
and so
dude.
like, if you go to dinner with him, he's like, oh, I love you, and you're like, what are you talking? Like,
yeah.
you told me you were not even
Yeah,
into her.
you hate this girl.
Yeah, and they break up in 6 months, and she keys his car, and he's like, this bitch is crazy. And you're like, I don't know, man. You know, like I don't really blame her. That's what I feel like Blizzard's doing, right? Like they took this audience and were like, we love you guys, man. Like you're our family. You know, like come down, hang out with us, let's have some cocktails and just like love on each other and fuck off. You know, and you're like,
Yeah,
you're like, whoa, Blizzard.
Well, that's where I was going with the How I Met Your Mother thing. Is like when you're watching TV, you're watching it very passively, and you could be into it and whatever, but you're not in it. When you're playing a video game, you feel like you're in it. Whenever I see somebody playing GTA 5, I feel like they're playing. They're in my house or something. Like they're playing with my characters. They're in my world. Like it's very bizarre feeling. So if that world gets, you know, molested for whatever reason, you know, you feel like it's a personal attack on you. Like
That's why you never let friends borrow porn.
yeah.
You know, like that's
Yeah, she's mine. No, you can't use my password.
Yeah,
No, she is mine.
I mean, the internet's kind of ruined that, but that definitely was like a thing.
Yeah, no, she's my favorite.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, again, especially with that connection that Blizzard made with, you know, being gamer centric, and they, you know, you have so much customization, you have these really deep fleshed out worlds, you've got the con, you got people dressing up as the characters, you have this whole universe and world built around making each individual person as connected to the world in your company as humanly possible. That's where this is not a passive sit back and, you know, listen to our clever writers take you through a narrative, and hopefully you like the end. I mean, in many cases on those games, you're making the story. The story is what you make it. So when people spend a bunch of money and are super invested emotionally and financially in an intellectual property, and then someone starts jerking you around, then it becomes personal. Then it's not just, there's a writer's strike and, you know, they kind of phoned it in the last season. It's like it's a personal attack.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like, I actually got into it with some a writer who actually makes documentaries. This guy Danny O'Dwyer. He's like a gaming guy. And he's verified on Twitter.
Oh,
but he like made this like comment today and
fucked with the blue check mark.
It made me so mad because he was basically comparing what Blizzard did to what Konami did with Metal Gear Solid 2. I don't know if you ever played that game.
No,
but they basically put out a demo and teased it all as a sequel to Metal Gear Solid, right? Where you're Solid Snake and you're sneaking around,
right?
But when you get into the game, you actually play as Raiden, which is a different character, right? Which people were upset about, but in general enjoyed, right? It was a narrative choice.
Yeah.
And so he makes this post like, oh, people didn't, basically saying the gaming media didn't play damage control for like entitled brats, basically, when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, right? And I was just like, this is a bad take. That's what I said to him. I said, this is a bad take, right? And he comes back like, oh, you'll regret he's some melodramatic bullshit. Like, you'll regret your words and actions or something, right? And I'm like, this guy's weird, bro.
Whoa.
But it's like the level of melodrama these people feel, and the thing that really frustrates me about what he said is it's like, this is a man with a large following that hates people that play video games, right? He is stretching to find a loose connection so he can demonize a bunch of 16 to 24-year-olds for being pissy, right? And it's like have some empathy for kids that spent all their money to go to a stupid conference and be disappointed, right? Like,
Yeah.
like I'm not like, I don't really care. I'm not tweeting Blizzard being like, oh, fuck you guys, right? Like I'm not upset. Like, I'll get over, like, you know what I mean? Like I will say I didn't pre-order the Warcraft 3 remaster because of it.
Really?
Well,
yeah. Well, I mean, you're
not
taking it out monetarily.
Well, I'm not even upset about it.
Yeah.
I honestly I thought about it,
too.
and I'll buy it eventually.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to give them a positive metric boost on that announcement day.
Right.
Right? You know what I mean? I was like,
yeah.
I don't want them to tie my pre-order to their shitty announcement.
Yeah. Voting with your wallet.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just like, I don't approve of this. I'm gonna
hold off
wait.
for now.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
I'm gonna hold off for now.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe I buy it. Maybe I don't. I'm not. It's not gonna be now. Might be later. That's how stuff gets changed.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I think both of our personalities are not the run around with their hair on fire type, but that's really how things change.
Yeah.
Is you just don't go. If you have a problem with the TV show, you turn it off. You don't just complain about it. If you got a problem with a product, you don't buy it anymore, and it either goes away or they change it until you do buy it. That's it. You guys have a problem with the way Apple's doing business? Stop buying their fucking phones.
Yeah.
They'll fix the phones. I guarantee you they will make the absolute perfect phone if you stop buying the crap they're making now.
Yeah,
if you think it's crap.
I saw Linus video today. It was called like Apple doesn't care about the iPhone XS or whatever.
I saw that too, yeah.
And it was just like, this phone sucks. It's got all the same problems as last year, and you people are all still buying
You're
it.
all going to
gonna
buy it.
You know?
And that was kind of where I was going with like the mobile game. Like everyone gets super pissed off, but they're all going to buy it.
Yeah. I mean,
they're all going to play
and
it.
And that's what I mean. Like, none of that stuff really frustrates me. It's just like these takes these people have of just like, oh, this just proves that this subgroup of people is like, they're just shit, you know? And it's like,
well, he's just trying to be provocative, like he's just trying to be, you got your attention.
No, I mean, but the reality is, I think these people like him believe it. You know what I mean? I think that's what's sad.
I'm not saying he doesn't believe it, but I'm saying he's saying it because he wants the attention.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's it. You think that what Blizzard did was really shitty, but you're not shouting about it. You're not sending them, death threats or whatever.
What's funny is I think the kid with his April Fool's joke, I think he's shitty too. You know what I mean? Like,
that's my point. Is like we feel the same way as that kid does, but we have the restraint to not say that and to just say we're not going to buy it.
Yeah, just move on.
That kid is going to say that, and I guarantee you that little fucker is going to buy that mobile game, or he's going to download that mobile game and he's going to buy the pack because he wants the green cloak
skins.
and the thing and the whatever the hell.
They could have a green cloak.
They're going to have a green cloak. I gotta buy that.
I love cloaks.
Yeah,
I wish I could wear cloaks in real life.
I wish I could wear dusters. I'll wear a duster, you wear a cloak, and we'll be those two guys.
I'm in, bro. Like, don't even tease me. Don't even tease me. I will wear a cloak every fucking day. All right. I'll get one of those mid-length ones, right, to wear like on warmer days, like a summer cloak.
Right.
I'll have a heavy winter. Oh
yeah,
cloak.
the mid cloak. The mid cloak is very underutilized.
Yeah, it's good for if I got to move around,
right.
But I'll have like a heavy winter cloak protect me from the waxed to protect me from the elements.
Right. Then you need the home cloak where you take off your heavy cloak and you put on your like silk satin cloak.
Yeah, like the smoker's cloak.
The smoker's cloak.
Yeah.
The lounge cloak.
Yeah, hit the crystal decanter in my lounge cloak.
Exactly.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Exactly. And then when you sit down in front of the fire from the wood that you chopped with your heavy duty cloak, you put the hood up and you sit back and you sip your scotch.
So what are you going to have in your duster?
Well, that's the good thing about a duster. You got plenty of room for lots of stuff.
That's what I mean. Like, it's a utility coat.
Right. So I'm going to go, my duster is going to be not so much the like rugged outdoorsy duster. It's going to be more of the like metropolitan, like the Swiss Army knife of city life.
Are you going to match a hat to it? Because I think a duster requires a hat.
I think I'll have a line of hats. I'm not going to stick, hold myself to one hat, but I'm thinking you need like a couple bottle openers.
Mm-hmm.
You need a beer bottle opener. You need a nice wine bottle opener.
Ooh.
You got to have a nice corkscrew ready to go. You need a pack of matches. I'm not going to smoke, but you need some matches in case anyone does have
a gentleman's pocket knife.
If you are wearing a duster and you don't have a light, something's wrong.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong.
Then probably like the latest issue of National Geographic. And then
a handsome leather-bound notepad.
A journal.
Yeah. So
a leather journal.
You sketch little maps or pictures of girls.
Yeah.
You sketch a little, oh, milady.
Oh, hello. And what's your...
Hope you don't mind.
Yeah, what's your number? I'm going to put it into my book, my planner.
Mm.
What are you doing next weekend? Let me write it into my journal.
Then you tuck it right here. It's your
tuck it in the breast pocket?
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good setup.
Yeah. The duster will definitely get you laid more than the cloak.
Well, it depends where you are.
That's true.
If you're wearing the cloak at BlizzCon, there'll be a line.
No, that's true.
Right.
Or Ren Fair.
Ren Fair, even bigger line.
Cloak.
Yeah.
Depending on what cloak, right?
Yeah.
I'll have a shabby one for like doing stuff.
Your everyday cloak.
Yeah, just like regular wool, right? Like
your chores around the house, your Sunday chores cloak.
And like a merino wool, something
right.
durable and breathable, but
washable.
Washable.
Yeah.
Won't shrink too much if I throw it in the dryer.
Nice neutral earth tones. So
yeah,
it
earth
doesn't
tones,
stain,
right? Yeah, like a brownish grayish, like a very muted. You don't want it to stain.
No.
I'm excited about this cloak thing.
This is pretty cool.
I'm really in on this.
Yeah, cloak, yeah.
Cloak, yeah. All right, yeah. So tune in next week for our Cloak and Duster podcast. We're going to talk the latest in materials and buttons. What's up with buttons right now?
Are your edges fraying? We've got just the solution for you. Haven't we we've teased a different whole new podcast almost every week?
We might need to start a podcast network.
I think so.
Of all of our dumb podcast ideas. I totally forgot.
The Cloak and Duster podcast.
Okay, yeah. Before we get too far off, Blizzard, you suck. Jerky Kids, you suck too.
Yeah. Diamond Aircraft, good job on your hybrid motor.
Yeah, Diamond Aircraft, good job, I guess, with your stupid airplane shit.
Alec, thank you for the question.
Yeah, Alec, thank you for the question. But no, I mean, for real, like, Diablo, you fucked up, bro. Like, Blizzard, you made some mistakes, all right?
You dropped the fiery ball.
But you know what? I think you're still good dudes. And kids that got mad because you spent a bunch of money to go to a trade show and it wasn't that great.
Yeah, guess what? You got what you paid for.
Yeah, you fucked up too. But you know what?
Dorks.
You're some cool little dorks, right? You're just trying to have a good time.
Yeah, you're all right. You're all
right.
You're all right, little dorks.
Yeah, I think everyone needs to just back off.
Everybody needs to calm down.
Yeah, just chill out.
Everybody chill out. It's fine.
I think the next time you're mad at somebody, you need to sit down, have a sandwich with them.
The video game that you wanted to be announced wasn't what you thought it was going to be. Shh.
Yeah, get a little prosciutto, some gabagool.
Yeah.
Right? Get a little oil and vinegar, salt and pepper.
Have a nice glass of red wine.
Oh, sounds nice.
Mellow out. I know you're 14, but ask your parents.
Yeah, have a little manchego, right? A little glass of wine.
Yeah, just
chill out.
Calm down. Watch like a nature documentary. Go to sleep at 7. It's gonna be fine.
This sounds like a great Sunday.
I'm tired and hungry right now.
What are you doing after this?
I'm getting some prosciutto and
I got a wheel of manchego in the car. Let's go.
Let's go brown bag it out in the parking lot.
Oh man, I feel like every time I'm like, oh, how long have we got? It's like like an hour and 10 minutes.
We're gonna stick to our time.
We
were told when was it? I think it was this week. Like, oh, you should make your episodes like half hour. Half hour is a good amount of length for a podcast. I'm like, dude, our intro is a half hour.
What did I tell her?
You said no.
No, I said you can listen to a half hour, but download the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we don't care if you listen to 30 minutes of it and shut it off, but at least download
the whole thing, all right?
Yeah.
I guess that's it. I guess that's enough. You got anything you want to touch base on before we
we've got like a million things. That's the cool part about all this crap is it's just a never-ending stream of useless crap that we could talk about endlessly and be excited about. So we'll just have more ammunition for next week.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, to reiterate kind of what we talked about before, like, I really do feel like as a team, us and the listeners, like, we're really on the precipice, I think, of hitting a lot of people, right? Like I'm really having fun doing this. I think Bill's having a good time doing this. I feel like the people listening are really enjoying it. Maybe I'm talking for you and you're not. But
they're just letting this play. They're not hearing this part. They've muted it and gone to the bathroom.
End, but the feedback I get always seems to be very positive.
Yeah, thank you for everybody that does listen and that gives us feedback because it is nice to hear that it's being enjoyed on some level.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. So it's like, I think if just like tell one person, tell your dad to listen to it, right? Like just spread it out just a little bit for us, and I think we'll get to the point where we can like make shirts.
Yeah, if you want a shirt, share it with some friends.
Yeah, and I want to get to the point where we can make some shirts and some stickers. Maybe send out a coaster or a tote bag, right? Like, so let's do this, guys. Let's make this happen.
Tony, you're aiming way too low. I want Tech Yeah Convention. I've got an inn at the Anaheim Convention Center. Mm-hmm. We can get a really great deal, food and beverage included.
Wait, Tech Yeah Live at Staples Center.
Tech Yeah Live. Well, it's got to be at Anaheim Convention Center.
No, we'll do Staples.
Let's start with Anaheim because I got at the inn. We've got the inn.
Are you aiming low? Because I'm aiming high.
Well, Staples Center. Who wants to go to Staples Center? There's not enough room there.
Everyone goes to Staples Center.
Dude, it's like what is it? I mean, 25,000 people, 30,000
people.
Go
Kings,
go!
Go Kings, go!
Dude, I'm talking about conventions, dude.
All right,
Tech Yeah Con. But I do like Tech Yeah Live.
We're gonna Tech Yeah all across.
I do like Tech Yeah Live.
Southern California,
selling out arenas
from the San Diego Sports Arena to the. What is the one in Chula Vista called? I don't know. All the way up.
We're going coast to coast.
Coast to coast.
We're going coast to coast.
Madison Square Garden. We're going to come to
2019. Join us for Tech Yeah Live.
Tech Yeah Live.
Brought to you by Live Nation. Sponsored by Pepsi and Coke and General Motors.
Real talk.
And Ford.
Real talk. Share with a couple friends. And this is going to happen. Tech Yeah Live will happen.
Well, I mean, we could technically have Tech Yeah Live and just not sell out an arena.
No, I'm saying
we could do it live.
Like we'll really blow it up.
Yeah.
Like these.
But I'm talking about an actual live Tech Yeah.
Yeah, Tech Yeah Live.
Yeah. But like we could do it soon. Like we don't have to sell out an arena in order to have Tech Yeah Live.
Oh, you mean like on Twitch or something?
Yeah.
All right. Tech Yeah Live coming to you soon.
See, we could say it and not completely be pulling this out of our ass.
Bill, if these people want to find you,
if you want to find me, you can go to Staples Center on January 22nd. We'll be performing live. Get your tickets now. No, I'm just kidding. Social media, BILL4LE, YouTube.com if you're interested in aviation stuff, and Twitch.tv if you're interested in aviation stuff. That's all I do.
And if you're not well, I guess you're probably a dork if you listen to me too, but a different kind of dork. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch. ToneFaceKiller, ToneFaceKillah. We hang out, we play games, we listen to Ghostface Killer records.
I like the H.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
I'm feeling the H at the end.
I'm kind of am too. I kind of wasn't liking it at first, but now I think I love it.
It's a differentiator, and I approve.
And it kind of gives you like it rounds it out. You know? Like
Killer.
You're not like.
I just like the fact that you're forcing someone into pronouncing a word a certain way. That's what I like.
I like it too.
Because if you're like ToneFaceKiller, like that sounds a bit aggressive. But
no,
if you're
I'm
like
spelling it how you need to say it.
Yeah, ToneFaceKiller. But it's like my last name, like 4LE. Like I'm forcing you to pronounce my last name correctly.
Yeah, I like that too.
You know?
But that's what I mean. Like you're
right.
It's not like this kind of passive word where it's like, I don't like things that end in like, like you're not like making them say it like how you want them to say it.
Right. Killa. Yeah. Takes the sting out of it a little bit.
I was gonna say something right now, but I totally forgot. So I guess that's the end.
Love
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye.